There is a moment inside that room that has nothing to do with your body at all. It happens about 11 minutes in. The music is playing, the door is closed, and she asks you one small, ordinary question about your life. And you answer it. And then you keep answering. And by the time you walk out of there, you have told a woman you met 40 minutes ago things you have not said out loud to your own brother in 20 years. That is what actually happens when the door closes. Not the thing you are thinking, something much more expensive. Hi, I'm Marian. I'm a Filipina in my late 20s, and I talk to foreign men about what really goes on here, the parts nobody says out loud. Today, I'm going to walk you inside that room, honestly, and tell you what is really happening in there, who that woman actually is, why it works so well on men your age, and how to tell if what you felt was real or if it was just very, very good work. If you enjoy watching my videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a video in the future. Thanks. Okay, come sit down, lock the door. Ha, too soon? Let's start with something you probably don't know, and it changes everything. There is not one kind of massage place in the Philippines. There are three. And most foreign men walk in without knowing which one they are standing in, which is a little bit like getting into a car without checking who is driving. The first one is the spa. The hotel spa, the mall spa, the clean glass front with a price list on the wall and a girl in a uniform at the counter. Air conditioning. Somebody else's name on the receipt. This is a business and it behaves like one. The second one is the one most tourists never notice, and honestly, it is the best one. The neighborhood hilot. Hilot is our traditional massage, and it is old, much older than anything with a price list. It is done in somebody's house, or in a little room behind the sari-sari store, or on a mat on the floor. And the woman doing it probably learned it from her mother, who learned it from hers. There is no spa music. There is a rooster outside. There might be a child watching cartoons in the next room. If you ever get to experience real hilot, you will understand why we do not take spa massage seriously. And then there is the third kind. You know the third kind. Everybody knows the third kind. And I am not going to draw you a map because that is not what this channel is for. And honestly, sir, you do not need my help finding it. Men have been finding it since before you and I were born. Here is why I am telling you this. Because most of the men who get hurt in this country did not get hurt in the third kind of place. They knew what that was. They walked in with their eyes open and they walked out with their eyes open. Nobody is confused there. The men who get destroyed are the ones who fell in love in the first kind of place. The clean one. The one with the price list. That is where it happens. Because in that room, nobody tells you what is happening. So you get to make it up yourself. And what you make up is always more flattering than the truth. So let's talk about who she actually is. Not the fantasy, the real woman on the other side of that door. She is probably between 26 and 45. If she is in a hotel spa, she has training and a certificate, and that certificate cost her real money that she did not have. She works 10 to 12 hours. She is on her feet or on her knees most of that time, and her hands hurt. Not sometimes, always. Ask any masseuse in this country about her thumbs and watch her face change. She takes home a percentage, not the number on the wall, a slice of it. On a slow day, she goes home with almost nothing because in a lot of places, you only earn when a body walks in. She has children. That is not a guess. That is just the arithmetic of who takes this job. Usually two, sometimes three, and usually they are not. with her. They are in the province with her mother, and she sees them at Christmas and maybe once in the middle of the year if the money is good. She sends home most of what she makes. Not some, most. There is a phone in her locker with a photo of a child on the screen that she looks at between customers. And the father of those children, look, I am not going to sit here and tell you every Filipina has a tragic story because some of us just have ordinary ones. But the honest answer is that a lot of the time he is gone or he is around, but he is not helping. And she stopped waiting for him a long time ago. She is not bitter about it. She is just tired in a way that does not show on her face, because showing it on her face costs her tips. Now, you are lying on that table. You know none of this. And she is about to do the thing she is actually excellent at. Because here's the truth, and this is the part I really want you to hear. The massage is not the product. The massage is the reason for the room. The product is attention. Watch how it works. She starts with the little questions. Where are you from? First time in the Philippines. Oh, how long are you staying? Is this your first time here in this city? And she is not interrogating you. She is warming you up. And she is genuinely a little curious because you are the most interesting thing that has happened in her day. Then she finds the door. Every man has a door. For some men, it is work. For some, it is their kids. For a lot of men your age, it is a marriage that ended. And she finds it not because she is calculating, but because she has done this thousands of times and she can hear it in your voice when you go quiet in the wrong place. And when she finds it, she does the thing that nobody in your life has done in a very long time. She listens without checking her phone, without waiting for her turn to talk, without that look people get when they are being polite to an older man. And you feel something crack open in your chest and you think, my God, this woman gets me. She does not get you, sir. She is listening to you. Those are two different things. And at 58 years old, you have forgotten the difference because nobody has listened to you properly since about 2011. Let me be very clear so you don't hear this wrong. She is not lying to you. That is what makes it so dangerous. She is genuinely being kind. She genuinely enjoys the conversation. She genuinely likes you in the way you like a nice customer. It is all real. It is just not what you think it is. Now, let me tell you why this hits men in their 50s and 60s like a truck. And it is not the reason you think. It is not desire, it is touch. Think about it honestly. When was the last time another human being touched you with care and with no agenda and for longer than 3 seconds? Not a handshake, not a hug at an airport, actual sustained, attentive touch. For a lot of men, the answer is years, sometimes more than a decade. There is a real thing that happens to men when they get older and their kids grow up and their wife leaves or passes or just stops reaching over in the night. You do not stop needing to be touched. You just stop having anywhere to put it. And you get very, very good at pretending that is fine. And then a woman puts her hands on your back for an hour in a quiet room and says, you carry so much stress right here. And something in you just falls over. That is not weakness. That is being a mammal. Every single one of us needs it. But you have to know that is what happened to you in that room. Because if you do not know it, you will call it love. And then you will make decisions based on it. Big ones, expensive ones. And then there is the third thing. And this is the one that really gets men. It is the feeling of being chosen. Because in that room, for 1 hour, you are the only person in the world. She is not distracted. She is not comparing you to anyone. She does not know how old your car is or what you did for a living or that your daughter does not call. You are just a man being taken care of. And a lot of men have not felt chosen since they were young, and they miss it so badly they would burn their whole life down to feel it one more time. Some of them do exactly that. Real quick, before I get into the rest, if Marian is making sense to you so far, do me one small favor and tap that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really helps me keep making these videos just for you, and it makes sure you never miss the next one. Okay, come closer, because this next part is the one most men get completely wrong. Now you are going to ask me the question every man asks me. Marian, how do I know if it's real? Because sometimes it is. I want to say that clearly. I know two women right now, real women, real lives, who met their husbands exactly this way. Clean spa, ordinary afternoon, and 8 years later, there are kids and a house and a very boring, happy marriage. It happens. It is not a fairy tale. So here is how you tell the difference. And I want you to be honest with yourself while I go through these, because this is where men lie to themselves the hardest. Number one, who reaches out first? Not once, over weeks. If every single conversation starts because you started it, you already have your answer and you are just refusing to read it. Let me be honest with you. If you're a good man, over 50, and you feel invisible back home, the Philippines might just be the best thing that ever happens to you. But only if you do it right. David, 61, from Manchester, England, spent 3 lonely years after his divorce, convinced his best days were behind him. Then he found my Philippines dating playbook. 6 months later, he met Rosa. Warm, genuine, and crazy about him. Last month, they got engaged. David isn't special. He just stopped guessing and finally understood how Filipinas actually think. I'm Marian, and in How to Make Any Filipina Want You, I show you exactly how. The mindset that makes you attractive here, where to meet real women, and how to spot the ones who only want your wallet. Your second chance is waiting. You can find the link in the description and the pinned comment. Check it out. A woman who is actually interested in you will text you about nothing, about her dog, about the rain, about something stupid she saw on the jeepney. Interest is not polite. Interest is annoying. Number two, does she remember things you did not repeat? This one is beautiful because you cannot fake it and you cannot fish for it. If 3 weeks later she says, so did that thing with your brother get sorted? That is a woman who was actually storing your life in her head. If every conversation resets to zero and she is asking you the same warm little questions she asked the first day, you are talking to a very kind professional. Number three, does the money arrive before the feeling? Watch the timeline. Not whether money comes up at all, because money comes up in every real relationship in this country, and I am never going to pretend otherwise. But watch the order. If the emergency shows up before you have met a single person she knows, before you have had one boring conversation, before there's any actual life between you, then what you have is a transaction wearing a nice dress. And I want to be fair here because there is a version of this that is not a scam. Sometimes she really does have a sick mother. Sometimes the roof really did come off. That is not manipulation. That is the Philippines. The difference is whether you are being asked as a man she is close to or approached as a resource she found. Number four, And this is the strongest one I have. Will she let you into her actual life? Her sister, her cousin, her landlady, the group chat? Filipinos do not do things alone. We do not have private relationships. We have relationships that the entire family has an opinion about. If she is serious about you, you will be shown to people and quickly, and they will look at you very carefully and ask you questions that feel rude. That is not an obstacle. That is the green light. If 8 months in you still have not met one human being connected to her, then whatever she is protecting, it is not you. And number five, what happens when nothing is happening? This is my favorite test and it costs nothing. Have one long, dull, useless conversation about nothing at all. No plans, no future, no money. Just an ordinary Tuesday. Real connection survives boredom. Performance cannot. Performance needs a topic. Now, let me give you the piece that I really do not hear anybody else saying, and this is my whole thing, so let me have my moment. Everybody assumes the young one is the dangerous one, the 23-year-old. And sure, fine, there is risk there, but honestly, she is usually easy to read. She is not that good at it yet. Her interest turns on and off like a light switch. You can see the seams. The woman who will actually change your life, for better or for worse, is the one in her late 30s or her 40s. Because she is not playing. She is done playing. She has been left. She has raised children largely alone. She has worked jobs that wrecked her body, and she has arrived at a place of total clarity about what she wants and how much time she has left to get it. She is not going to flirt with you, she is going to assess you. And when a woman like that decides you are worth it, sir, you will feel it in your bones. Because nothing on earth is more powerful than the full attention of a woman who has stopped wasting her time. But understand what that cuts both ways. That same clarity means she will also make a very calm, very unsentimental decision about whether you are a good arrangement. And she will be kind to you either way because she is a decent person and because kindness is cheaper than conflict. So, do not read her warmth as her verdict. Read her behavior. Also, and I say this with love, she will not chase you and she will not compete for you. If she thinks you are looking around at younger women, she will not fight for the position. She will simply withdraw, politely, permanently, and you will never quite understand what happened. Mature Filipinas do not do drama. They do exits. Okay, now the warnings. Quick and blunt because you need them. Understand that you are a foreigner and you're visible. In a small community, people know where you went and who you went with, often before you get back to your hotel. Whatever reputation you build in your first 2 weeks will follow you for years. I have seen men lose a genuinely good woman over something they did before they even met her because her aunt heard about it. Her aunt always hears about it. Understand that the setup exists. The situation that gets uncomfortable, and then somebody appears who is very concerned, and there is a way to make the problem go away. It is old and it is boring, and it still works because embarrassed men will pay almost anything to make a scene stop. If you ever feel a situation tightening around you, the answer is to leave immediately and to be willing to look foolish. Looking foolish is free, everything else is not. And understand that laws here are not the same as at home. And I am not a lawyer and I am not going to pretend to be one. What I will tell you from ordinary life is that a foreigner is never the sympathetic party in a dispute. Never. Not once. Plan accordingly. So what should you actually do? Let me give you the useful part. If you want a massage, get one. Get many. Get the real highlight from an auntie in a house with a rooster outside and tip her properly and be a good customer and enjoy the fact that for 1 hour, a skilled person is taking care of your body. That is a good thing to have in your life and there is nothing wrong with it. But do not go looking for a wife in a room where the woman is being paid to be attentive to you. Not because those women are lesser, they are not, they are some of the hardest working people in this country. But because you cannot get a clean reading in there, the room is designed to make you feel wonderful. It is not designed to tell you the truth. And if you have already fallen for one, then take it outside, literally. Ask her to meet you somewhere in the daylight, off the clock, on her rest day, in a place where she is not working and you are not a customer. Buy her a meal, let her be tired, let her be uninteresting, let her be in her house clothes with no makeup and a bad mood. If you still want her after 2 hours of that, then maybe you have something. And if the meeting never quite happens, if there is always a reason, then she has answered you very clearly and you should thank her for it. So, back to the beginning. What really happens when the door closes? Here it is. You go in there thinking the exchange is money for touch, and you come out having done something completely different. You told her everything: your marriage, your regrets, your kids, your money, your loneliness. You handed a stranger the whole map of yourself in under an hour, and you enjoyed it because it felt so good to finally be heard. And she told you almost nothing, not because she is cruel, because it was not her hour. It was yours. You bought it. That is the real imbalance in that room. And it has nothing to do with bodies. One person got known, the other person stayed hidden. And that is why men walk out of there in love with someone they have not actually met. So the next time it happens, and it will happen, I want you to notice the moment she asks you the question. And I want you to answer it. Enjoy it even. But then, just once, ask her one back about her province, about her kids, about her thumbs. Watch what her face does. That will tell you more about what is real in this country than anything I could ever say to you. Before you go, if you're serious about finding real love in the Philippines, I've put everything I know into one honest guide: how to make any Filipina want you. The mindset, where to meet genuine women, the green flags, the red flags, all of it. It's the playbook I wish every good man had before he came here. Grab your ebook in the description or in the pinned comment, and I'll see you there.